Alright guys, is PlayStation going all in on being a third-party developer slash publisher? Let's talk about it. But first, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and consider subscribing as well. Okay, let's get into it. Alright, so the internet is buzzing over a new job listing that PlayStation put up for a senior director of multi-platform and account management, with responsibilities like a critical leadership role in shaping and executing the global commercial strategy for PlayStation Studio software titles across all digital platforms beyond PlayStation hardware, including Epic Games Store, Xbox, Nintendo, and mobile, also Steam. The overview of this job listed on the website reads as follows. Reporting to the Vice President, Commercial Management as Senior Director of Multi-Platform and Account Management, you will play a critical leadership role in shaping and executing the global commercial strategy for PlayStation Studio software titles across all digital platforms beyond the PlayStation hardware, including Steam, Epic Games Store, Xbox, Nintendo, and mobile. This role is accountable for optimizing title profitability, ensuring cross-function alignment, and leading a high-performance team focused on multi-platform expansion, mid-range commercial planning, and platform partner management. They also have a listing of some of the key responsibilities. One of them reads here, team leadership, direct and develop a team of senior managers across multi-platform strategy, account management, platform sales, and planning. Direct reports include Director, Multi-Platform Strategy and Account Management, Senior Manager, Platform Sales, Xbox and PC, Manager, Platform Planning and Performance, PC and Xbox. So does this mean PlayStation is going all in as a third-party developer slash publisher like Xbox, or are they just looking for someone to manage their live service games on all different platforms? Let's review some of the possible reasons this job list was posted. I'll also share my opinion on what I think is really going on as well. First, we saw how Xbox has committed to going all in on being a third-party developer slash publisher, porting all their first-party games to the PlayStation and Switch with titles like Sea of Thieves, Grounded, Gears of War, Forza Horizon 5. All they have left really is Halo, which if rumors are true, Halo Studios is working on a remake or remaster of Halo 1 that will also be released on the PS5. And after that, Xbox has no more exclusive games to its platform. Now, before they began porting their games to other platforms, their console business was already struggling. They did very well with the original Xbox and dominated with the Xbox 360, but stumbled out of the gate with the Xbox One, focusing more on TV and sports than games. Plus, it was bundled with the Kinect, costing $100 more than the PS4 at $500. But it seemed they were going to turn things around with the Xbox Series X and S. It was a powerful console focused on games, but just never really gained any traction. Additionally, so far this generation, there haven't been truly any compelling system sellers for Xbox to entice people to buy their console. Their biggest game was Halo Infinite back in 2021, and that game was like a 6 out of 10 at best. They then began porting some of their games to the PS5 and Switch. I think they did this as a way to make some extra money to help recoup some of the money they spent on the ABK deal, and the games actually sold very well. Sea of Thieves has sold over 1 million copies on PlayStation, and Forza Horizon 5 has sold over 3 million copies on PlayStation. These numbers are impressive for Xbox, demonstrating that these games perform great on other platforms as well. I believe that Gears of War Reloaded and E-Day will also sell best on PS5. Xbox is generating a good amount of money from these older games. You know, PlayStation's definitely paying attention to this, given how these older games are selling millions of copies on their platform. They probably had their bean counters run the numbers too to see how much their treasure trove of games would earn if they were ported to Xbox and Switch. Numbers would likely be impressive and generate a nice chunk of change for them. We also have to remember that the cost of game development these days just keeps ballooning out of control, costing several hundreds of millions of dollars and getting harder to make a profit unless your game sells like gangbusters. While Xbox's install base is lower than PlayStation's, with PlayStation having sold approximately 78 million units compared to Xbox's 32 million units, hell, the Switch 2 actually sold 5 million units so far. Crazy number. Congratulations, Nintendo. With Xbox and Switch 2 combined, it's about 37 million players you could sell your game to if you decide to port them, which could help offset game development costs. If a couple million people buy those games, it could help developers potentially earn more money for game development and create bigger and better games. And with the console wars over and Xbox games on PlayStation, people don't really care anymore that games are moving to other systems. Now, PlayStation is a huge global brand with a giant loyal fan base, and this will piss a lot of them off and they'll bitch and moan online. But here's the thing, PlayStation has such a loyal fan base and is such a global brand, it wouldn't matter if they port their games to other platforms, people will still buy a PlayStation. The PlayStation 1 sold over 102 million units. The PS2 is the best-selling console of all time. The PS3 did stumble out of the gate, but Sony managed to resolve the issue and ultimately ended up outselling the 360. And the PS4 right now sold 117 million units so far. PlayStation is a dominant player in the AAA gaming space. They can choose to port their games to other hardware and be totally okay. Now, maybe they aren't planning on porting their AAA games to other platforms. This job listing could be for their games as a service games like MLB The Show, Helldivers 2, Destiny, Marathon, and any other live service games they're currently working on. You saw them fail miserably with Concord and cancel a bunch of live service games, but if they can develop 1 or 2 live service games that hit, that's a constant revenue stream now PlayStation has. And games like Fortnite, Roblox, they make billions of dollars a year. And if I'm PlayStation and I got a live service game, of course I want it everywhere. You'd be stupid to keep it to one platform. I would even try to get it on mobile if I can. I could see this job posting being about helping guide these games as a service games on multiple systems rather than porting their AAA tentpole franchises. My opinion is it's a mixture of both. I think they definitely want someone to help build a relationship with Xbox, Nintendo, Epic, Steam, and more for their games as a service games. But also, like I said earlier, game development budgets just keep ballooning out of control, and releasing games on Xbox and Switch could help offset development costs, but I don't think they'll be day and date. I do believe they release the Xbox or Nintendo port like 6 months or a year later after the initial release, just like they do with PC. Say Horizon 3 comes out in 6 months or a year later when PlayStation releases the PC port, it would also come to Xbox as well, and maybe Switch. I know some PlayStation fans will be pissed, but as a businessman, and PlayStation's main mission is to make the most amount of money as possible, and doing this would make them so much money. Plus, we're seeing a day of exclusive games just dying out. So that's my thoughts on the whole situation. What do you guys think? Do you think games will be day and date on Xbox, Switch, and PC? Or do you think they'll come later? Or is this all one big giant nothing burger? That's all for now, guys. Until next time, bye.